I will pray for you, but if you get on my nerve, I will cuss you smooth out. My mouth ain't under control yet, and I can throw these hands. And let me tell you something, if I get my hands on you, I promise you, you gonna know you've been in a fight. But I'm trying not to go there because I'm in transition.
What I'm on here for about is Queen Shiba.
Play that louder now, because we don't get to hear that often. Say it louder. Let's go. I think you are very open-minded about a lot. I think you haven't had an opportunity to experience a conservative relationship. Hold on. And if and when you do, come back and talk to me. Yeah.
What you don't realize is that you don't listen, man.
I don't have to. You're not my daddy. All right. Welcome, everybody. And that is my attitude. People are shocked that I can be so sarcastic after meeting me. Listen, I'll give you that 1-2 niceness. And after that, that's all you get. Listen, I'm on what you on. I know they say, oh, don't do that. We ain't no turning the other cheek in 2025. I don't have to. You not my daddy. And that's what we talking about. They call him daddy, Diddy, daddy, done it, did it, whatever. Listen, Jane Doe took the stand today, y'all, during the Diddy trial. And this just may be the one that's going to shift him into that RICO charge. Now, let me tell y'all something. I told y'all every day, minute on minute, hour after hour, I said, I promise you I'm going to cover this trial in real time. And although I have my own beliefs and my own thoughts, I really try to restrain myself from sharing that and putting myself in this spider web that I cannot crawl out of. And when I went live this morning, I felt like it was a win for the defense. But baby, when they put that Jane Doe on the stand, damn, she handed him his ass. She nailed his ass to the cross, and she did it in such a beautiful way. And what I mean in such a beautiful way, y'all, I told you I'm going to be fair now. I'm going to be fair. I got to be fair. We talking about what happened in real time. You see what I'm saying? In real time. And let me just tell you something about the strategy. I don't know who gets to line up the witnesses and determine what lineup and how and what sequential order you're going to call them. But that was brilliant to put her behind Brianna, because she came back, and I'm going to just name her the cleanup lady. I know they're calling her Jane Doe, but I'm going to call her the cleanup lady because she just cleaned up the prosecution's mess. Because let me tell you something. After Cassie's friend, Brianna, left the stand, I was like, oh shit, it's over. We may as well declare a mistrial. But baby, when they put Jane Doe on the stand, listen, when they put her on the stand, y'all, they back in the game. The prosecution is back in the game. And I can only imagine that the defense, I don't think Diddy gonna get no sleep tonight in jail. I really don't. I can only imagine that the defense is scrambling. And let's talk about Diddy for a second, because I know everybody's talking about, Diddy, the judge corrected Diddy and told Britain to throw Diddy out of court. Now, listen, I was in there and I keep saying, damn, am I missing something? And I'm gonna give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Let me tell you what I heard the judge say today. I thought he was talking to all of us. You remember I said it on my live. I said that the judge came today and he told all of us, if he catch us making any faces at the jury, if he catch us trying to influence the jury in any way or connect with the jury in any way, that he was going to kick us out of court. I thought he was talking to all of us. I did not hear him say Mr. Combs, but I'm going to give everybody else that's a major media outlet and a major blogger. I'm going to just say, well, shit, maybe I missed something. Now, listen, Diddy has been looking at them jurors. I got to be fair. I told y'all that this morning, and they liked him. Didn't I tell y'all that this morning? I said, listen, One thing I noticed on yesterday, shit, the jurors was like, especially the black jurors. The black jurors were happy. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, the front row, I noticed that, but I noticed their reaction to him. Now, has he been looking at them and nodding his head? Yes, he has been. But I have to be fair. I'm trying to be fair. But when the judge addressed us this morning, I don't recall the judge singling out Diddy. That when a judge gave that message, he gave it to all of us. And he was very specific. And I thought I quoted it. Shit, I wrote it down. He said, not only to those of you in here, but those of you in the overflow. And he went as far as saying that they would be doing media surveillance just to make sure we don't get cute and throw a wink, wink here and a wink, wink there and a wink, wink everywhere when it comes to the jurors. Now, how does TMZ, the Shade Room, and everybody else say that they were talking to Diddy? I'm going to say maybe during one of my bathroom breaks, the judge addressed Diddy out loud, individually, in front of everybody during one of my bathroom breaks, and maybe I missed it. But when I heard the judge address us this morning, he addressed all of us as a whole, as a courtroom. I do not recall him singling out Diddy. That's it. That's all. I have to be fair. Did I hear the judge say singled out to you, Mr. Combs? No, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. It could have happened while I went to the bathroom. Have I seen Diddy connect with the jurors? Absolutely. Have I seen the jurors connect with Diddy? Absolutely. But I've also seen the jurors connect with that white man now. Hold on. I did. And didn't I share all of that with y'all?
I don't care. I said what I said. I meant what I said.
Period. Now, I thought I was over here being fair, but one thing I'm noticing, and yes, bathroom, hold on. Carl said to my bathroom breaks, bitch, you was supposed to hold it. I have been, but listen, baby, we be sitting up in there, y'all, like school. You don't get no phone. You don't get no nothing. And thank God I'm a deep learner. I know some of these millennials and Gen Zs are struggling because I'm looking at their notes. I'm like, girl, you need a big ass notepad for what's going down in here. But anywho, I mind the business that pays me. But my bladder said otherwise. So I'm being sarcastic a little bit, but I'm also being truthful because I don't recall. But it could have happened. And I did see Diddy nodding his head at the jurors. And I did see Diddy connecting with the jurors. Now, am I snitching? No. I told y'all I'm going to tell you everything that's going on in the courtroom on both and all sides. Now, let's get to Jane Doe. I do know who Jane Doe is. I was shocked when she walked through. I was shocked when she pranced through that courtroom. And yeah, okay. And the judge was also very clear that if anybody say a word about who Jane Doe is, there's a strong possibility that you may be prosecuted. Now, y'all can guess all you want. Y'all can guess all you want in the chat. I can't stop you from hosting and or having your own conversations in the chat. I know who Jane Doe is. And let me tell you something. She looked the fuck good when she came, baby, walking down the aisle to take her seat. Number one. Number two, I'm going to just say that she was the perfect. I'm not going to call her a victim. She was the perfect witness on behalf of the state and on the behalf of the government. I mean, you could not have picked a better witness. And let me be completely honest with you. Although I did not get the opportunity to sit in the courtroom and be in New York at the same time that Cassie testified, if I didn't know any better, I would probably say she did a better job than Cassie. Her demeanor, her tone, her cadence of her speech, the right pauses here and there, the softness of her touch, the authenticity of her testimony. Oh man, when I tell you she was the perfect witness, I was like, fuck, damn, they got him. Now, why y'all talking about Jaguar? I said the lady was beautiful. See, I'm not, and I ain't got no problem with Jaguar. No, I'm for real. I ain't got no problem with Jaguar. Y'all not listening. I'm finna get off live. I'm not finna play with y'all tonight. You know what? Listen, I'm not finna do this. Now, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna do this, y'all better listen. How in the hell you get Jaguar, Trey, out of beautiful, perfect witness? You to my Jaguar. Listen, come on now. Flew in from international, catching flights, not feelings. Jaguar. Trey, I'm gonna put you in timeout just because that don't sound like exactly Carl. That don't sound like no damn Carisha or Jaguar, but I know exactly who she was when I looked at her. And let me just say this. Oh, I can't say it because they said if you describe in any way. Let me just say she's a city girl. That's it. That's all. She has the look that most girls have. That's it. That's all. Beautiful, stunning. Yeah. Perfect witness. And everything about her was perfect for the prosecution. If you're looking to get a RICO charge, that is the type of individual that you put on the stand because her testimony did not feel facetious, even if it wasn't, even if it was. Her testimony did not feel vindictive. It did not feel disgruntled like the other ones. And it set her apart. And you had no choice but to open up to her and be fair. See, when you put the Mias on the stand and you put the likes of the Briannas on the stand, I think they call Brianna Bona. I think that's her nickname. And even with Cassie, right? But this girl, you had no choice but to open your heart up to her. She did the damn thing. And I'm going to be honest with you. She gave such great detail, such accuracy, such delicate moments. I quit writing. I quit taking notes because at one point in the trial, it became so sexually explicit. It didn't even feel right for me as a woman. Listen to me. It didn't feel right it didn't feel right for me as a woman to even take notes. And where I was seated on the right side of the courtroom today with the press, many of us quit writing. It felt almost disrespectful to want to capture some of the things that she was saying. So I had to rely on my memory. And I just think it's a natural default position that most of us toggled into. That's how compelling she was. Okay. That's how compelling she was. So they brought her out. And before the judge was so serious, he said, listen, he told them, hold on. Y'all, we finna put Carl Walker in timeout to was it Kaya? My neck, my back, you know. So listen, the judge goes, before we bring her out, he told us again, I meant what the hell I said. If I catch any one of you up in this mofo, leaking, describing, sketching, talking about, giving hints as to who she is, and I think all of y'all know who she is, giving hints of who she is, you're a goner. You out of here. We will do everything in our power to make sure you pay. Not in those words, but we got the point. Okay. Now I'm gonna go kind of slow because I want to make sure I don't slip up and say her name. I was shocked when she walked in. I was shocked when she walked in. Number one. Number two, I was like, oh shit, this is real. And not only is it real, these Hollywood celebrities, these people, man, they know when things are coming down the pipeline. And I question if she was in witness protection. That's another big question mark I have. Was she placed in witness protection due to the distance that she had to travel to come to this trial? And once she walked by me and I saw her, I'm like, she don't live overseas. I know her. But I'm like, damn, did the feds put her in witness protection? I don't know that to be true. That was a question that came to my mind. And I just wonder, is it important? Not really. I'm just sharing with you the thoughts that came across my mind as I'm sitting there, and it's all making sense. And then you have so many questions about how serious are the feds as it in regards to taking this man down for a RICO charge. Now, real quick, let me remind all of you what a RICO is. A RICO charge, y'all, is short. It's RICO. And the only reason why I'm saying this because I don't want to assume that everybody that's tuned into this live understands exactly what we're talking about. But it's short for racketeer, influence, and corrupt organizations. It's a federal criminal charge used to prosecute individuals and or organizations involved in a pattern of racketeering activity. RICO was initially designed to target organized crime, but has since been used more broadly. Broadly is not as, that means not as specific, but it has since been used more broadly against various criminal enterprises. Let me read that again. Has since been used more broadly against various criminal enterprises. Let me back you up. You say, well, Queen, why you say that? Because what comes to mind for me is the day before yesterday, 2 days ago, 48 hours ago, when the security guard, Eddie Garcia, took the stand to admit that he accepted a what? A bribe from Sean Combs, aka Diddy. He accepted a bribe in the amount of $100K to get rid of the video surveillance footage from the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. Keep that in mind. Now, when he accepted the bribe, and I did the video and I told you about how Diddy gave him the location to meet him, the address, he arrives to this high-rise building. A big black bodyguard came to get him, escorted him up. And he said when they opened the door and he walked in, that's when he thought, oh shit, I just may have fucked around and found out. I just may not make it up out of here tonight. He said he was so scared and he became physically and visibly nervous that Diddy noticed the physiological signs of his body to where Diddy ordered KK, his right-hand woman, to go get him a cup of tea. Diddy then brought out little duffel bag boy with over $100K in there and a money counter and counted all of the money in front of him. What I wish the prosecution would have asked is how long did it take for him to run that money through that money counter? Now, I'm neither team A, B, or C, but these are questions that I have as I'm sitting in the courtroom. And I do believe when I say nobody's hands are clean, you know, at first when I was telling y'all, ain't nobody's hands clean because I'm sitting there, I'm using my damn head, I'm thinking with common sense, and I'm looking and I'm hearing the evidence, but everybody getting paid, everybody getting something up out of this, notoriety, promotions, money, whatever it is, bonuses. And as I'm thinking about the detail, they're giving us detail, but they're also withholding detail. Can I keep it real? In my head, I'm like, how big is this criminal organization? If there is indeed a criminal organization that exists, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Because what you not going to make me feel and what you not going to do is play in my face and think that it's only run by Black folks. You do not make that amount of money. You do not make those kind of moves. You just don't without the approval and or participation of other people. So as I'm thinking about the details that they're giving us in the courtroom and also the details that they're not giving us, simple questions to me. If he counted the money and you said he brought out the duffel bag and the duffel bag was filled with $100K and a money counter, for me, the next question would be, how long did it take for him to count the money, right? You know, when you're talking to the girls that are accusing him of sex trafficking them, and they said he made me dress up and I came out and I had to dance, what would be your natural curiosity? What kind of dancing? Describe to the jury. So there are specific things that I feel like they are intentionally skipping over, and these are not things that would these are just not things that would trigger you. How long did it take to count the money? When he ran it through the money counter, what kind of dancing did Mr. Combs ask you to do? Now, I'm just saying, you said, well, why is this important? It's important when you're trying to nail somebody to the cross and you're attempting to get a RICO charge. You leave no stone unturned. And there's a part of me that really, really feels like Some people don't want us to know all of the answers because it could implicate or lead us in a completely different direction than they need us to be. That's it. That's all. Those are just my private thoughts as I'm sitting there in the courtroom saying, how come you didn't ask her this? Because I know we all thinking the same thing. Okay, now let's back up. So when you think about RICO and racketeering, right? Bribery. Here's more of a detailed explanation. There's some racketeering activity. This refers to a pattern of criminal activity, typically involving at least 2 acts within a 10-year period. If you go back to when Eddie Garcia, let's back up. Eddie Garcia says that in 2016, oh shit, we're in a 9-year period. Man, I tell you, those feds will let you run up your tab, won't they? 2026 will be a 10-year period. All they need to do is get you with 2 acts. And I know a lot of you are saying, they ain't got no RICO charges. They ain't got no RICO charges. I think you're looking for the maximum amount of implication when technically all they need is 2 activities. So if we think about the 2 activities, to me, you may hate to hear it, they got what they need. They're just doing the due diligence of attempting to give him a fair trial. If you think about racketeering, it refers to a pattern of criminal activity, typically involving at least 2 acts. Write that down. 2 acts within a 10-year period. The hotel, the Intercontinental Hotel, we know for a fact they accepted $100K from Diddy as a bribe to get rid of the video surveillance tape. That's act number 1. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? This isn't about me agreeing or disagreeing. We're starting off very technical. That's the first one they got him on. See, that's cut and dry. That's cut and dry. Okay, that's cut and dry. And the feds are so slick and strategic. I'm sure whatever Diddy has been doing, he's been so sophisticated. That's their strongest, probably one of their strongest arguments, the bribe from the Intercontinental Hotel, which occurred in 2016, right? The statute of limitations. And when you start to think about the statute of limitations, Cassie came in at the final hour and filed her lawsuit right before the statute of limitations. What? Expired. Now the feds are coming in at the final hour, right before what? The statute of limitations is up. Now let's see. We got number 1. And I didn't thank you. Thank you so much, Hakeem. I didn't think he was going down before lunch this morning because some of these witnesses, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is really coming down initially. Before this witness, Jane Doe, took the stand, I'm like, oh shit, this is more of a moral case. A bad behavior case than anything. The security guard was solid. The bribe existed. There's evidence. You can't deny that. So that's act number 1. Now you say, well, okay, Queen Shiba, give us act number 2 that would probably lead to a RICO charge. Let's go to example number 2. Enterprise. This can be a legal or illegal entity. Let me say this, legal or illegal entities such as a corporation, a mob, or a street gang. If you back up, when Eddie was testifying to how he received $100K and he was escorted up to this high-rise penthouse, okay, and Diddy comes out with a duffel bag, he takes the money, he counts the money, he tells Eddie, you want to count it? Eddie said, no, I trust the machine. Diddy say, not so fast. Hold up, homeboy. You ain't going nowhere. I need you to sign this NDA. Let me tell you how slick they are. And when I say slick, I like the sophistication of the maneuvers. What they did is they placed on the screen an exhibit of the NDA. I wasn't worried about the NDA, me personally. I don't know what everybody else was tuned into, but let me tell you what I noticed that stood out. It says Combs Enterprise. What does that mean? Let's go back. In order to secure a RICO charge, you need 2 acts of criminal activity within a 10-year period. Number one, you need to establish that a bribe has occurred. They've established that with the Intercontinental Hotel, the exchange of money in exchange for getting rid of the tape. Number two, you need to establish that an enterprise that can be legal and or illegal actually exist. Bad Boy Entertainment, Sean Combs Enterprise. That NDA, Puffy, you fucked up. You messed up. Because when they put that NDA up there, it says Combs Enterprise, number two. But you think about that, and the way I'm thinking about it, okay, that's there. It says Sean Combs, it says Combs Enterprise. But if I were the government, I would probably say I need something a little bit more solid. I got my one. I need my smoking gun. I can work off an NDA, but let's go to the organizational chart. And that's when Derek Ferguson came into play, and they utilized him as a financial key witness, and he testified about how the money actually runs with the different organizations and the different projects and the different businesses that Diddy actually owns. And let me tell you one that they actually named. Oh, y'all, I didn't tell y'all this. They named a lot of them. But one they named, and I told y'all this morning, was Revolt TV. Revolt TV is actually owned by Comcast, okay? And then I share with you this morning that there's 2 silent seat holders on the board of directors, and they hold 2 of the 5 seats. Many of you don't know this. Those 2 seats belong to JP Morgan Chase, but it's not listed as JP Morgan Chase. It's actually listed as another enterprise, okay? And not only do they hold 2 of the 5 seats, they possess 40% of the decisional power. Are y'all following me? Watch this. Okay, so he was involved with Bad Boy Entertainment. Y'all, he has so many businesses. Revolt TV. I'm giving you an example. Guess one that they named that I didn't mention to you. Janice Combs Music. Shall I say it again? Janice Combs Music. So when you start to think about RICO, racketeering activity, I need to hit you with 2 offenses within a 10-year period. I got you for bribery. I got you for enterprise. I just need to figure out, as the government and as the Fed, which enterprise do I want to attack? I'm not going to fuck with what? Revolt TV, because I got 2 white boys sitting on the board, JP Morgan Chase, who's way bigger than me. I can't come after them because that money comes to me flowing. You can't fuck with the banking system. You going to go after the bank? You going to go after the bank, JP Morgan Chase? Chase Bank? I think the fuck not. You better sit down. Y'all get what I'm saying? So we can't fuck with Revolt TV, but what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze him out and force him to give over all 5 seats. So so then you start the process, if you think like I do, the process of elimination. We're not going to fuck with JP Morgan Chase. It's too many, even though it's 2 seats, we just don't want to do that. That's a government entity when you think about federal banking. So how can JP Morgan Chase, right, which is a federal entity, bank a U.S. You see Diddy, you was in bed with the feds by way of the banking, and you had 2 people from JP Morgan Chase seated on your board of directors, to which you assign 40% of power on Revolt TV. You let the enemy in. You opened the door for them to devour you. And you know how they probably did it? By way of money. Most of us are open to money, networking, partnerships. So I'm sure you're not going to hear nothing else bad about Revolt TV. But the fact that they dropped Janice Combs Music tells me they got their shit lined up. If we can't take him down, you know how we'll fuck him up? We'll put mama on the stand. I'm going to hit your enterprises one way or the other. I'm just telling you my personal thoughts and the way my brain works as I'm sitting here thinking about it. And not only that, I'm going to run down every list of your enterprises, your business, your projects, your collaborations, because I want motherfuckers to know, if I'm the government, to listen. Either you're going to cooperate or you're going to cooperate, period. Let me see if I can find the notes real quick. Let me see if I can find the notes real quick. And maybe I can't. And if I can't, I'll just move on. I found it. Now, I found it. So what else did they have? They have Aqua. It was Aqua Hydration. He owns a water company. He owned, shoot, where am I? Y'all got so many damn notes. So JP Morgan Chase was actually operating under the umbrella. See, they're not listed as a board of directors as JP Morgan Chase. They're actually listed as Highbridge Capital Management. Highbridge Capital Management. You wouldn't even know that's JP Morgan Chase. You wouldn't even know that's a federal banking system. You get what I'm saying? Diddy made a deal with the devil, in my opinion. This ain't really about freak-offs. Did freak-offs happen? Absolutely. You really think they care about him freaking off with Asian women? Because that's and black girls. You really think they care about that? No, they don't. Diddy made a deal with the devil. Diddy shook hands with people that didn't like him, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, some people are saying, oh, I think it's about, I can't say his name correctly, the Ciroc deal. Yeah, these people are used to dealing with money upon money. You know what? It ain't like Diddy can make these people do. He got a little bit of their pie. So when people say, oh, it's about the Ciroc deal, not so much, probably not as much as you think it is, a little bit, maybe a little bit to piss me off, but I'm still going to go back to my original thought. I think Diddy got somebody on tape that didn't want to be on tape. And what you mean, Queen Shiba, if you think about, and I'm about to get into the expert testimony of the Jane Doe that testified today, and I've been saying it, and if anybody comes out with it, you all need to say Queen Shiba said it first. To me, this is about snuff films. Allegedly. If you know anything about snuff, it's a form of pornography that ends in a very unfavorable way for the victim. I truly believe that Diddy may have been into snuff. I truly believe that Diddy purposely documented his sexual acts because they went for a high price in the dark underground market. I truly believe that Diddy was in bed with a bunch of billionaires and millionaires globally, locally, and statewide. So when you think of RICO, you keep saying statewise, globally. Okay, he didn't take them prostitutes. He didn't take those escorts that far. But if you take them tapes that far and you selling those tapes that far on the dark web, that'll get you a RICO. Angie says, I kept yelling to the top of my voice, this is bigger than Cassie, way bigger than Cassie. I feel like Diddy was selling snuff globally. That'll get you a RICO. You think they really care that Diddy was having consensual? Let's talk about it. Diddy was having consensual sex that most of us probably would not have because we don't want to get that fucking freaky, but it was consensual. Each woman has confirmed that I consented. And not only that, Jane Doe admitted on the stand today that her first time it was exhilarating. So you have to sit there and wonder, and you say, you cannot, there is no way. When have the federal government ever been that interested in what's happening to women of color? Hell, you can barely get a black woman when she goes missing to be placed on a milk carton. Are y'all really that foolish to think all of a sudden they care? When black girls and Latin girls come up missing every day. So you sit back and you have to ask yourself, like me, as I'm sitting here, what is this really about? Okay, now that I know we have a silent investor, now that I know you was in a little tiff with Ciroc, okay, and I'm really, really thinking about it, but money, that's enough money to work out. You big boys, y'all argue about money every day. It can't be that. Oh. Then it hit me. And what I'm saying, I'm not saying what I'm saying is a fact. It hit me. This is beyond this. You can fool the people in the court, but you can't fool me. This is beyond this. I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Before I get any further, let me give you a little bit about my background. I'm not just a YouTuber. I specialize in organizational psychology with a specific focus in behavioral modification. That's what my master's degree is in. Organizations call me in to influence the behavior of an organization. That's what I do. That's what I've done all my life. Period, point blank. Let's put a pin there. So as I'm sitting here using my common sense, my intellectual ability, my college education beyond a bachelor's, leaning into my master's, honing in on organizational enterprise, RICO activity, naturally, I know beyond anybody else that's sitting there, because I'm qualified, I'm saying this way bigger than what they trying to tell us, honey. Something going on. It's something going on, baby. And what I've come to strongly suspect, because I study human behavior, this ain't just about this black man having sex. Nigga, who in the hell did you catch on tape? Who did you give that good drug to that lost his fucking mind in one of these videos? And he caught wind that you got it and he want his lick back. That's what I've come to. That's my conclusion, not fact, but a very strong suspicion, quote unquote, allegedly. And that's why I feel like the feds raided the fuck out of your house, went down them tunnels, because whoever it is ordered a siege, a search and seize. Go find it. Find it now. And the government couldn't really give the green light without the resources, because they needed to be able to create a strong business case for the taxpayers. I am not making an excuse for Diddy, but what I'm telling you is, don't let the government fool you to think that you are so important that they dispatched all of these resources on the behalf of your black ass. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Can we continue? That's all I'm saying. Can we continue? If you think that all of a sudden overnight, because a rap star, a black guy that owns a record company, did some nasty shit in a room with a few girls, a few women, all of a sudden the government cares about the black community, you crazy. You are crazy. This is way bigger than what you think. And I just told you who held 40% of power, and probably now, since he's been arrested, remember, he gave up all of it. So we can assume that JP Morgan Chase have acquired 100% of Revolt TV, which technically belongs to who? Comcast. How much is Comcast worth? Do your math. Now let's talk about it. So if my black ass decide to go pick a fight with the likes of Comcast, and if my black ass decide to go pick a fight with the likes of who? Ciroc, and I think I'm about to walk around this motherfucker without no repercussions, child, please, find them tapes. Don't worry about the taxpayers' money. We got enough. We'll fund the search and the seizure. Am I saying Diddy is guilty? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is something in front of you that's hidden in plain sight that they don't want you to know about. And he is going to be the fall guy. They're going to spank his ass right in front of y'all because he got out of his nigga place. And he forgot. He forgot. So listen. Thank you, Lou. Where are the tapes? Thank you, Lou. That's the $1 million question. And the fact that they haven't found him is the only reason, in my opinion, he's still breathing. And somebody else gave what do y'all call it? A conspiracy theory one time. I've been talking about snuff for a minute. I think Diddy, I could be completely wrong. And I'm going to tell you why I keep saying I think Diddy has bodies. I don't think he's innocent, but I think Diddy is so brilliant. And he's done it so long, he has kept his hands clean. I told you, just hang on for those of you that are new here. I said, I'm coming. Give me time to warm up. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to tackle the girls. I'm going to tackle the guys. I'm going to tackle the niggas. I'm going to tackle the white thugs. I'm going to tackle white collar, blue collar. I'm going to get the dogs and the cats next week. Just sit back and let me do my thing as it comes to me and allow me to process it from a psychological component and an organizational component. So the question, keeping up with Lou, says, where are the tapes? That's the $1 million question. And that's probably the only thing that's keeping him alive, because somebody, when I cover snuff films, look up snuff, Thank you, Janice. Janice said, I just looked up snuff. Thank you. Y'all need to come over here with me. If you look up snuff, it goes for a lot of money. Okay. It goes for a lot of money. Most times with snuff, a lot of rich men like to see people overdose. That's where the drugs come in. Molly, Cocoa Puff, acid, psychedelic mushrooms. They like to, I don't know what it is about. I've never seen anybody overdose. I don't know what it looks like in real time. When you think about snuff, it typically involves some sort of an overdose. So as I began to think about all these drugs that were exchanging hands, and I think about these women that said I had an out of body experience. And I think about Q that says, Don gave me a pill that knocked me the fuck out. And I woke up screaming. And when I woke up, I was so out of it. I thought they were trying to what? Sacrifice me. And when I get into the testimony of Jane Doe, who testifies she got a dose of ecstasy that was so powerful, she was walking on the fucking beach and collapsed and couldn't control her body. And he told her, just relax, just breathe, just breathe. She was begging for a doctor because she thought she was out of this motherfucker. So that's why I think snuff is involved. And that's why I think it was a requirement that in order to do freak-offs, you had to take some kind of drug, because I think those tapes were exchanged for money. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Let me stop there. Now, somebody said, where are the tapes? There was somebody that came into my comments that shared a conspiracy theory, and it's the only one that made sense to me. They said, do y'all remember when the feds was supposed to raid Diddy and they came by way of boat? They came by way of foot to Diddy's house to raid Diddy. And when they got there, Diddy wasn't there, but his sons were there. Now think about this. Who leaves their kids? He did. Hold on. He did. And he jumped on that plane. Somebody made a really good comment. They said, I think when he jumped on that plane, he was dropping them tapes all over. He was dropping them tapes all over. Getting rid of that evidence or hide that evidence. I said, you know what? That could be true. That could not be true. But that's the closest. Diddy did something with him. And he's smart enough. He's smart enough. Now watch this. Let's get into it. They bring Jane Doe on the stand today. We're about to get into it. And I want y'all to pay very close attention to some of the key words, very small words, but key. And that's the reason why I said that this testimony just may be the one to get his ass a RICO charge. Listen very carefully. We're about to get into it, and then we're done here. Hold on. Let me get my notes. It's a lot of notes, y'all. And I kind of enjoy not having a cell phone up in there because it really makes me pull up and tap into everything for you all. All right. Jane Doe takes the stand today. She was the perfect witness. It's not about if he did it or not. I believe her. I believe her. Now I'm going to tell you. She never said he forced her to do anything. And the reason why I believe her over Cassie, and I'm not saying Cassie did not get beat up. At least she took accountability. That's a difference. And I think that's what melted my heart. That's what gave me, damn, Diddy, for her, because she never said he forced her to do anything. She never lied. She never said he beat her. She didn't share any of that. She never said anything. She never said he forced her into that. And we're going to get into that. And when you come like that and you lay out everything you've done, you know what you do? That was great on the behalf of the government. She won me over. She won me over. So I'm going to tell y'all, I believe her. Just like I thought Cassie Friend was lying. And I had to be honest. I don't think this Jane Doe is lying. And she was so clever. She even kept complimenting him. he couldn't even help it when she was dishing out compliments. This nigga was nodding his head while she was dishing out compliments. But let's get into it. Jane Doe takes the stand today. I can't describe her. They did ask her to give a little bit of her background, and she said the highest level of education she's ever received is from junior college. Okay. She said she entered into a relationship with Mr. Combs from 2021 to 2024. Feel free to take notes if you know what I'm saying. Feel free to take notes. Junior college, 2021 to 2024. She entered into a relationship with Mr. Combs. She met Mr. Combs in Miami when she took a trip with her girls. Y'all got what I'm saying? She took a trip with her homegirls to Miami that Diddy paid for because he was actually dating one of the girls in the group. Let me tell you something. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. And we have a saying over here in the palace that hoes do what? Hoes do hoe shit. So how you go on a trip with your homegirl and you end up fucking the dude that she fucking? So Diddy was messing with her homegirl and paid for, let's say Diddy was dating a girl. We don't know who it was, but whoever the girl was, she had a close relationship with this girl. Take notes. She dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024. Her homegirl was messing around with Diddy. Diddy told her, homegirl, go on, take your girls on a trip. She got to go on the trip. And that's how she met Diddy. Okay. That's how she met Diddy. They stayed on 2-Star Island in 2020. That's Diddy's property. And they met in passing prior to her going on that girls' trip. And they met before at a Father's Day celebration. That's what she gave. Take notes. Y'all can go, yes, thank you, thank you. Hold on. No, that's not true. They read it online. I don't know nothing about that. I'm telling you. Okay, let me stay out the comments. Y'all could be talking about something. I'm telling you exactly what came from the witness. Okay. So let me tell you, she said on that trip, y'all, let me tell you how dirty bitches are. On that trip, I'm taking you as my homegirl because the nigga I'm messing with is funding a trip to the future. And bitch, you flirting with him behind my back? Yeah, that's how she met Diddy. Somehow her and Diddy exchanged numbers. They texting while she on the trip with her homegirl. She texting her homegirl man. And not only that, they came up with nicknames for each other. And she testified to the court that they called each other Ernie and Bert. Y'all, Sesame Street. Ernie and Bert. He called her Ernie. She called him Bert. I'm finna go. I'm finna go. And they said, well, what happened on the first day that y'all were on the girls' trip? She said the party started, or the girls' trip started at 2-Star Island, and she and Diddy were flirting, looking across the room, flirting, whatever you take that to mean. They exchanged text messages. So by then, somehow, in front of his girl, Diddy was able to get his girl's good friend's phone number, okay? And she said, they were having a good time. She had Diddy number, he had hers, and they're texting each other this entire time on the trip. Now, there's some pieces of her testimony. If you want to hear it all, you go get the transcript because she was talking so damn low, which I thought was another strategy of the government, because these girls, they come in and they whisper like this, and they talk real low like this, and this is how they testify to make themselves seem really, really nice girls. And they talk so low that it pissed me off, and because I couldn't hear shit, and I know if I couldn't hear, nobody else, so they whisper really low. And I just can't help but to wonder if it's a strategy that the federal government told them, I need you to talk really low, I need you to make yourself look as innocent as possible, blah blah blah. All of them was up there whispering. Okay. Shit, we was all leaned in. We all elbowing each other trying to hear. I'm like, girl, talk up. Now you just say you do Molly and this. Talk. They was whispering. So some of it, I have huge question marks. So eventually, while they were on, no, I ain't lying. You said, I know you lying. No, I'm not. Talking like this. And he was really nice to me. And yes, I'm not lying. So anywho, she get to testify. And somehow while she on a girl trip with Diddy's girlfriend, whoever that was, I wonder if that was Young Miami. To be honest with you now, I'm gonna have to go do some fucking research and see if Diddy paid for a girls trip for Young Miami to go to Miami only for one of her homegirls to snake her and start fucking Diddy behind her back. That's what I'm a wonder. I need to know who that was. So what happened is, no, it couldn't have been Young Miami. I take that back. I'm gonna tell you why. She said while she was on the trip with her homegirl and the other girls, her and Diddy snuck away and they got some alone time. Diddy took her to a studio and they said, what happened when you got to the studio? She said, we walked into the studio. Okay, what happened when you walked into the studio? There was a man there. What happened with the man? The man gave Diddy pink powder. He gave Diddy pink powder. And the girl said that she was alone with Diddy. They said, so you went on a girl's trip and then you went alone with Diddy, even though your friend was dating Diddy. She said, yeah. And they said, how'd your friend feel about that? She said her friend was really upset with her. Okay, her friend was really upset with her that she went away with Diddy to the studio because that's my nigga. What you doing? Okay, so whatever. They ended up watching a movie with Diddy in his movie studio with her homegirl and the rest of the girls. Y'all don't trust nobody no more. You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. As far as her homegirl, I don't know. So they all Diddy got them in his movie room. They all watching a movie room. He's sitting next to her homegirl, but he texting her. Y'all bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. But listen, he with her homegirl, but he texting her. So they texting each other back and forth. They kept in touch after the girls' trip. She said they asked her what was the nature of the relationship. She said it was flirty. They said who did the pursuing. She said that Diddy pursued her. Diddy pursued her. Then they enter an exhibit into the courtroom as a text message. And it was a text message that she sent on November 29, 2020. And I don't know what the text message said, but it was 2 text messages. And then they reiterate who pursued who. She said, he pursued me. And they asked her, what was her response? She said she was hesitant because her friend was fucking around with Diddy. Now, I do want to make a side note. At one point, so what we later find out as the court, as we're sitting in the courtroom, at least her friend was smart because her friend was fucking around with Diddy, but her friend was also messing around with somebody else whom she did not name. And her friend got engaged to another man. I'm really trying to figure out who that friend is, but we're going to talk about that. Remember, the friend was messing with Diddy, but the friend also had her something on the side, and the something on the side ended up proposing to the friend. We're going to come back to all of that. So they said, talk about January 2021. She said that she took a Miami trip alone to see Diddy, and they say, how was he? First of all, who paid for it? She said, he paid for it. Listen to me. Racketeering, RICO charges, travel, interstate commerce. The enterprise must affect interstate commerce to be subject to RICO charges. We would have to introduce traveling statewide and or internationally. So number 1, we've established a bribe, right? With the hotel. Number 2, we've established several enterprises and they can be legal or illegal. Number 3, we need to establish that you've committed 2 violations within a 10-year period. Everybody following me? By the time we get done with this, everybody. Thank you, Bill. He says, Choke No Joke sent me here. Okay, thank you. Tell Choke No Joke we appreciate him just supporting us. By the time we get done with this shit, everybody's going to be an expert on RICO. I think what y'all are looking for RICO is y'all are looking for the government, aka the prosecution, the feds to paint a masterpiece. That's not how RICO works. They can get you just by stroking the canvas. Remember that. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. When you're looking for a masterpiece, that means you're in your feelings. We're not going to get in our feelings. We just going to talk about how they going to get his ass jammed up on a technicality. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it indifferent? I don't know. I just think he pissed off a bunch of rich men, and it don't matter at this point. They're going to take him down. And she was a key to that today. You need to establish 3 things, 2 wrongdoings, what? In a 10-year time frame. You need to establish that there's an enterprise. We know he has more than one enterprise. We also need to establish what? Interstate commerce. That's how they're going to get them. The prostitutes, the sex, traveling across state line. Well, what if the prostitutes lived in the state or lived in the country? The girl don't have to. See, once he pay for that flight or they get on that private jet, that is interstate commerce. That's traveling, okay? That's what we're talking about. And also, we need to establish purpose. RICO aims to combat organized crime by allowing prosecutors to target not only individual offenders, but also the entire criminal enterprise. So a lot of you keep saying they need more than one. No, they don't. They just need one and or the entire criminal enterprise. I do believe if they can't get Diddy, they did mention Janice Combs' music. I'm sorry, Miss Combs. I know you in your 80s. Girl, the fact that they dropped your name the other day and they keep dropping KK, Christina Crumb, they going to get one of them women. Because let me tell you something about a woman. You get her ass jammed up. You put her back against a wall, cold concrete, dirty toilets, dirty floors. They become accustomed to a particular lifestyle. You put her in a dirty ass cell. Somebody gonna get to singing like a hummingbird. If I can't get you, I'm gonna go after your mama. Wouldn't that mess him up? And his mama's in her 80s. I'm just telling you how nasty the game gonna get. If I can't get you, I'ma get your mama. Cause I softly drop your mama's name, Janice Combs Music. Y'all better follow me. Okay, so this girl says that she goes to the studio with him. A dude is in the studio. He hands Diddy a pink powder. So now she's establishing that she's seen a what? An exchange. Okay, of drugs. Pink powder, she described it. The girl that she went with was with Diddy. She went on a girls trip with her homegirl who was fucking around with Diddy, but she ended up fucking around with Diddy. Man, you can't trust nobody, okay? So after the trip, she and Diddy stayed into contact. She made it very clear on the witness stand that he did the pursuing. They asked her what was his demeanor like, and this is why I said she's the perfect witness, because she did what we call over here in the palace. For those of you that are new, we call it positive before negative. I'm going to hit you up with positive, and then I'm going to lay it on you and tell you what I don't like about you. So what she said is he was very charming. He was very sweet. He was flirty. He was kind. He was generous. They said, okay, tell us what happened in January of 2021. This is her first time traveling alone to see Diddy in Miami. And she established that he paid for the what? Interstate commerce, for her to travel across state line. He paid for that. And I thought, man, that's a reach. Let me tell you why I thought it's a reach. Niggas ain't gonna want to pay for nothing no more. You ain't coming over here. I'm not flying you to my state and smoke weed in front of you. You may have me up for a RICO. And that's why some people are really, really torn about this case, because they say, come on, federal government, are we really finna get into that? Niggas, women, husbands, wives fly each other out all the time. But he flew her out, and they're utilizing that against him. Okay. She said their first date lasted 5 days. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. And this is what I talk about when it comes to women. Her homegirl was fucking Diddy. Diddy paid for a girls trip for her homegirl from Miami. Her homegirl was nice enough to take her on the trip. And even though her homegirl was fucking Diddy, her homegirl was fucking somebody else. And even though her homegirl was fucking Diddy, she started sleeping with Diddy. And even though she started sleeping with Diddy, she was also in a relationship with somebody else. And that's why I keep telling y'all that all the women in this case are not as innocent as y'all are trying to make them. What is giving to me, I'm going to be on. Can I be honest? These are beautiful women that sold a pussy. God forgive me for saying that. God forgive me for saying that. Father God. Hold on, y'all. Give me a couple of seconds because I shouldn't have said that. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I can't believe I said that.
Wow. Wow.
All right. I just asked for forgiveness. These were women, y'all, beautiful women in the industry that were literally exchanging services, in my opinion, to the highest bidder and to men that could provide the best lifestyle. When you think about how many men these women had on their rotation, because she's under oath. I'm not making this up. And I know some of you women don't want to hear it. Y'all, she said it under oath. I'm just relaying it to you. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Her homegirl was dating Diddy, but her homegirl had a side piece. She started effing Diddy, even though her homegirl was effing Diddy, but she was dating somebody else. Lord have mercy. And then she flew out with Diddy, even though she had a boyfriend, didn't tell her boyfriend. So she ended up, her first day with Diddy was 5 days in Miami. She and Diddy sat down and they got, now this part I can say. The judge didn't tell me not to say this part. So she goes with Diddy to Miami. Their first date was 5 days. Her and Diddy sit down. They start to discuss her history with people in the industry. She admitted to him that she's in a relationship. And not only was she in a relationship, Jane Doe was in a relationship, but y'all, she was in a relationship with somebody that's close to Diddy. Lord have mercy. She was in a relationship with somebody that Diddy is friends with. So Diddy was fucking one of his homeboys' girls. Whew, let's keep going. And then she was also involved with somebody, and I'm going to leave this part out because I don't want to get no hints because I don't want the judge tapping me on my damn shoulder tomorrow. She was also involved with somebody, and I'm going to leave it like that. She was involved with, I'm going to leave it like that. So make a long story short, they cleared the air on their first date. They stayed up all night and she said they watched the sun rise. It was a beautiful trip alone in January 2021 to Miami. They said, let's go to February 2021. Diddy took her to Turks and Caicos. Do you see how they're establishing interstate commerce? We got you on Miami. We got you to Turks and Caicos. We got you taking Cassie all over. We got you taking KK. We got you in LA. We got you. They got him. They got him. That's all I'm going to say. So they said, how did they come up? She said that she talked about her birthday. Her birthday was coming up. He invited her. They said, how did you get there? She said, we took his private jet. Who else was on the private jet? She says, KK. They got him. They got him. Now, a lot of you were saying KK has been deemed a co-conspirator today. Yeah, probably. It hasn't been formally announced. No, it hasn't been. But remember, RICO, you don't need more than one. You can target not only an individual, but also the entire criminal enterprise. Now, you got to think about the sophistication of the government because they are bringing these charges against Diddy almost before the final hour. You have 10 years. They've been watching him for over 10 years, if not longer. Okay. They can leave KK alone, probably, depending on the last crime she committed with him. They may not even touch her right now. Y'all get what I'm saying? They may say, let's wait for her. Let's let him sit in there for 5 years. And then we go back and get her. Let's just make her nervous. That's all I'm saying. That's how it works. So let's continue. So Jane Doe established that KK was indeed on that private jet when Diddy took her to Turks and Caicos. She said that they stayed in Turks and Caicos for 9 days. 9 days, just her and Diddy. They played a video. She was on a boat. And at the end, they said, who did we just see? She said, I saw Mr. She said, you saw Mr. Combs, okay? Diddy rented out a whole villa on her behalf, y'all. Now, see, most girls think that's beautiful. I don't. Because if I get to the damn resort and ain't nobody there but me and you, hell no. Hell no. He would have had you. Carl say, shit, Diddy would have had me. Look, y'all, listen. Shit, not me. I get to the island. I'm like, what a party at? Where everybody at? You somebody, it's just me and you. Nah, bro. I ain't looking for that kind of party. I'd be scared as hell. You finna kill me. I don't want to play. I want to go home. I thought you said it was a birthday party. Where they at? Ain't nobody here? You ain't called none of my friends? Oh no. So she stayed on the island for 9 days. He rented out an entire villa. So they asked her, ma'am, they said, ma'am, what do you do for a living? She said she's a social media influencer. She said, watch this, y'all. They got him. So they asked her what they did on the trip. She said they ate, they drank, they had a good time, they made love, they did all that. They said, what happened at the end of the trip? She said, he sent me money. Y'all get it? They said, how much? I think she said 10,000. She said 10,000. At that point, they established a RICO, y'all, to me, based on the formal definition of a RICO. Not what you think it should be, not what I think it should be, but what they can technically get him on. So they asked her, at that point in time where you were in life, was $10,000 a lot to you? She said, yes, it was. Okay. They said, what happened on the trip? She established that on that trip, they did ecstasy. They said, who gave it to you? She said, she called him Sean. Sean. They said, prior to him giving you ecstasy on that trip, had you done ecstasy before? She said only 2 times in her life. Now, me personally, because I saw her face and I know who she is, I'm going to beg to differ. But I'm not the jury, so it don't matter what I think. Her testimony is she only did ecstasy 2 times in her life prior to going on that island alone with Diddy, and he gave her ecstasy. Watch this. To me, when she said that Diddy gave her money after the trip and she made love, what they did, in my opinion, the feds established prostitution. To me. Okay? Now, that's kind of tricky. That's when I was like, now y'all really reaching. Because there's a lot of men that give their women money. You know, hey, baby, go get your nails done. Maybe not 10 because they ain't got it. But y'all really, really reaching. Okay, but if that's how they going to get them, that's how they going to get them. And I started to say, that's how they going to get him. They're going to say, after this encounter sexually, even if it was a vacation and he had sex, the fact that he gave them money afterwards, we gonna charge that as a sex crime. And that's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm looking at it. So then she said, they asked her, how did you said you only did drugs twice, ecstasy twice before encountering or hanging out with Mr. Combs. Remember, they need to establish him as the supplier of the drugs, the supplier of the services, the sex trafficking, but also the supplier of the vehicles to transport people intercommerce, like back and forth, globally, locally, internationally. Okay, they said, how did the drugs come up? She said, we were drinking and it was his idea. It was his idea for her to do ecstasy. Okay. And they said, approximately how many times did you do ecstasy while you were on this island with Mr. Combs? She said 10 times. She was there for 9 days, probably 10 encounters. She probably did ecstasy 10 times. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. She said at one point she took ecstasy and it hit her. It hit me. And they said, explain to the jury, explain to the courtroom, what do you mean when you say it hit you? She said, I fell to the sand. I couldn't control my body. She was begging for a doctor. She felt suicidal. She had an experience that she's never had. And they said, what happened? He put her in the shower. They said that he put her in the shower. He gave her food. They said, okay, Who put you in the shower? He put her in the shower. He made sure she got something to eat. However, they said what happened after that. She admitted that she continued to take ecstasy, but that dose was too much for her. And they said, who decided on this trip how much you should take? And she said it was Diddy. Now, this is where I get into the snuff. She said it was a large dose and it almost took her out. She wanted to die. Snuff, die, snuff. So why would you give somebody, and this is where I got to be, y'all, we got to be fair now, because you know I get on the girls. That's why I said I think it's an underground ring of snuff. Because if this your first time doing X with somebody, why would you give them a dose that could possibly kill them? That's where the snuff comes in. That's all I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? She said, because they said the large dose damn near killed her. But she said the smaller dose made her feel relaxed, nice, chill. Then she went on a trip. So she finished that trip, which was in Turks and Caicos. Then they went on a trip to the Bahamas. They said, what happened after the Bahamas? She said, he sent me what? $10,000. $10,000. Okay. They've established another exchange. So she dated Diddy from 2021 to 2023. And she said she stopped dating. She dated Diddy all the way up until when? Until he got arrested. Now, at this point, my damn mind is wondering. Because I'm like, hold him up, swole him up. You was messing with Gina. You was messing with Young Miami. Y'all, we ain't even got into the thick of it. Are y'all taking notes? So I'm like, you was fucking with Diddy. He was fucking with your homegirl. You was messing with another man. Your homegirl was messing with, ooh, I know that cuckoo. Baby, I know y'all smell like a goddamn fish market. I know y'all had to smell like a fish market, sitting around just talking and drinking champagne. But let's go back. She dated Diddy from 2021 all the way to 2024 until he got arrested. In between then, she admitted under oath that they did take some breaks. She said that her relationship with Diddy was private. They said, why was it private? She said it was his idea to keep it private. Now, in my head, I'm like, he messing with Young Miami. He messing with Gina. He messing with that other Asian chick that just had a baby for him. Plus, he messing with you. We finna get it, y'all. It's finna get good. They said, how often did Mr. Combs give you money? Watch this, y'all. She said, here and there. They said, why did he give you money? She said he was sweet. And when she said he was sweet, watch this. My note says Diddy shook his head. Diddy couldn't control himself on that part. You can tell Diddy runs an enterprise. It wasn't an aggressive shake. Like all this stuff that people are saying, he just nodded his head. Very subtle, but you can see it if you're paying attention. He nodded his head like, good girl. Okay? What that tells me is, I know a lot of people saying, you can look at that crazy behavior. No, he's used to running shit. He's a billionaire. And one thing that Derek Ferguson testified to under oath is Diddy is brilliant. He said he's one of the most brilliant businessmen he's ever encountered. More brilliant than those on Wall Street. You see JP Morgan Chase wanted in. You see Comcast wanted in. He said you cannot out-philosophize Diddy in business. He's so brilliant that Derek Ferguson sent him a personal text to say, I admire you. He says Diddy's strategy, his work ethic is unmatched. So much so to a point, Diddy ain't even worried about winning. When it comes to business, his goal is to be number one, and he will stay up all night and do what he got to do. And his work is unmatched. He's organized. He's professional. He's like the way his brain works in business, right? So they just established that because they're not going to let you get off on being a brilliant businessman and then say, oh, I didn't know what I was doing when I was taking these girls on vacation. Now, do I think it's an easy way out for the government? Yeah. Do I think it's a strong case? No. But are they going to use it? I think so. So he sent her $10,000 after taking her to Turks and Caicos. He sent her $10,000 after taking her to the Bahamas. They stopped dating when he got arrested. In between there, They took some breaks. Their relationship wasn't really public because Diddy wanted it private. And the state asked her, hold on, did you ever feel misled by him? And this is why I said she made the perfect witness. Did you ever feel misled by him at any time while you were dating him? She said, no, he never misled me. He always let me know that I was not the only one and that he was involved with other people. I never felt misled. I never felt lied to. You know what I can appreciate with her? Telling the truth. And that's all I'm saying, women. We need to expect these girls, if you're going to take the stand, just tell the truth so I can appreciate that. Now, this is where I want to talk about with the women. They said, how often did Mr. Combs give you money? She said, he gave me money sporadically because he was nice. What this told me is a bunch of these girls that y'all see on Instagram, a bunch of these girls that y'all see twerking, most beautiful girls, they get to go out to eat, sit courtside. Do you know a lot of these girls are broke? They ain't got shit. Diddy was so fucking smart. Let me tell you how smart he was. Diddy was paying $10,000 a month for her rent. They said, wow, how did it come? Carl said he sounds so romantic. Oh, Carl said he sounds so romantic. I gotta. He was paying $10,000 per month for her rent. They said, how did you even get that? She said, I picked out the house. Maybe she selected a house that was for 15. He ended up saying, go on and get the $10,000 one. They said, how come he didn't just give you the cash? Let me tell you how smart Diddy is. You ain't finna set him up. Diddy said, nah, I ain't wiring you no cash. I'll just pay. I'll pay it every month. And he did it, y'all. His assistant paid. Or whoever was his bookkeeper paid. Diddy say, I ain't wiring shit. And he paid that $10,000 every single month. That girl was living good. Okay. So them girls didn't have no money. She said every now and then he'll chunk her some change. He'll chunk her $5,000, $10,000. One time he chunked her $20,000. They said, what was the most money you ever got from him? Because he was so sweet. She said $20,000. And they asked her, what kind of drugs did you do with him? What kind of drugs did he give you? Listen, same drugs that Cassie did: ecstasy, Molly, Coke, and K. She said they started to get into this private relationship, and then Diddy became more hands-on, and he began to tell her, watch this, he began to tell her how to dress while doing drugs. So Diddy had a rule for her. Listen, if we finna do drugs together, I need you to dress sexy. You're not just finna be in your sweats with no goddamn bonnet on with Diddy. You're not finna put no damn bun on your head with Diddy. He don't roll like that. You finna do his drugs. You finna go get dressed up. You finna put some heels on and all of that. So she admitted that she would have long sex sessions, intense, passionate section. So Carl Walker, you may be right. He does sound romantic. Okay. Now this is before he introduced the Freakoffs. But by this time he had learned his lesson with Cassie, because he didn't call them Freakoffs no more. He called them hotel nights. So as you can see, the man learned his lesson. He changed his tone. They later became hotel nights, but he had a rule. He told her, keep yourself put together. Okay. So she said, let's talk about February to May in 2021. February to May in 2021, about 3 months after you met him. In May of 2021, they asked her to say what happened, and she broke down crying on a witness stand, and they had to give her time to get herself together. And that's when she said Diddy initiated the conversation of role play with her. Role play is where he wanted her to talk about other men, and they searched the internet for porn or whatever they searched for, and she would watch other men, and Diddy would. They said, what did that sound like? Okay. Now, this is with the part where those of you that may be a little bit sensitive, you can exit the chat and I'll go ahead and count down for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now this becomes a grown-up conversation, nothing explicit, just details, okay? Yeah, it was fantasy, not BDM. They didn't say BDM. So y'all listen to me. Don't get ahead of me now. Diddy introduced role play. He didn't force her. She said he initiated, listen to me very careful. He initiated the conversation about role play. Listen, that's not against y'all, that ain't against the law. I'm not taking his side. Some of y'all are married and y'all talk about role playing with your husbands, right? So at this point, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Where are we going with this? And he liked her to talk about other men. According to her, they would search the web for different men that he would pick out. And then for the other men, they say, what did he say? She said that he would tell her, you like that? You want that? You want him? Stuff like that. That's what I mean by triggering, if that's triggering. So that's not against the law. I'm still listening, right? And I'm taking notes. And at one point I said I need a transcript because she went back to whispering. And this is when I thought it became probably so detailed that subconsciously she just whispered. In May 2021, they said she testified that she was awake for 24 hours. She stayed awake for about 24 hours because they were doing drugs. But in May 2021, it was significant because at this point, this is when he asked her after the role play conversation to be with somebody else. So he talked her up about the role play. And I don't know if she was kidding or not. That's why you need to set boundaries when niggas start to find out you're free, start talking. Say, what's up? You ever been with another one? You think you can do that? So he was introducing all of that. And she said, yeah. She said, yeah. And he turned around and looked at her. And she fucked around and found out because he said, we can make that happen tonight, baby. We can make that happen tonight, crescendo. Now, he didn't say crescendo, but he said, we can make that happen tonight, baby. And he made it happen. Okay. Now, she said they get to the hotel about 3 p.m. And they said, what was going on? She said the assistant, KK, I'm guessing KK, set up the room. And Diddy told her he knows a guy named Don, D-O-N. She said Diddy leaves the room. He instructs her to get dressed. He summoned her to get dressed sexy. She was getting dressed. She got dressed real sexy. And she was in the room by herself. But she can hear the two of them talking in another room. Diddy later on called her to come to the other room with a man named Don. And he said later on, not that day, but later on, that Don was from Cowboys and Angels. They said, were you still high from the night before? And she said, yes, she was still high. Y'all acting a fool in that chat. I'm not even finna look at it. She said that Diddy instructed her to take off her robe and do a little dance. Now, prosecution, I'm tired of y'all's asses. Start asking what kind of dancing, because I think I don't need to know all the details of the sexual encounters, but everything that leads up before then, because if he's saying dance like a duck, then we know they was probably laughing and smoking and getting high and having a good time. It's so important that you include particular details because it helps us, for those of us that are tuned in and sitting in the court, establish the tone, the mood in the room. You get what I'm saying? Diddy told her to take off that robe and start dancing. She said the man started touching her. One thing led to another. They asked her, what was Mr. Combs doing during this time? She said he began to touch himself while he watched. He was instructing them what to do. She said Dawn was very sweet and very nice to her. Now, some of y'all getting turned on now. If you can't control yourself, you're going to have to get your ass out my chat. You're going to have to get out of here now if you can't control yourself. I'm supposed to be telling y'all a story and y'all over here acting a fool. I'm just giving y'all a hard time. So she said Diddy began to touch himself. Dawn was very sweet and kind to her. Dawn had her in another room touching her good. He was nice. He was soft. And at that point, they began to engage sexually. And I don't know if she tripped out on drugs. And maybe I could have my detail wrong between her being on the beach or in the bed. But at some point, she asked for a doctor or she asked for something, and Diddy told her, just breathe. Just breathe. Oh, she did ask for a doctor or something because Dawn whipped it out. Now, we ground over here. And I think she wanted to know what was his status, to which Diddy said, just breathe, just breathe. These guys get tested all the time. At that point, the government established, did you proceed to have sex with him unprotected? And she said, yes, I did. Now, that's where I want to pause. Ooh, child. That's where I want to pause.
Ever diagnosed with any type of like mental illness or any type of diagnosis, any type of learning disability, anything like that?
I have a crazy problem.
Listen, because at that point, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I said, I wonder how many of these people got HIV. Ain't no fucking way. Cassie was with Diddy and did Freakoffs for a number of years to what we can assume was unprotected. She was with Diddy for 3 years and did with all these different men unprotected. Young Miami, Gina, Diddy sleeping with all of them. All these men are coming in and out. Somebody got something. And at that point, I was like, I know it's a fish market. I know it's bumps. I know it's humps. I know it's that. And all of these people are drop dead gorgeous. You hear me? She slept with man after man after man after man after man with no condom. Now, at this point, I happen to look up because I need to check. I need to check to see what the temperature is in the courtroom. And I saw that there was an older juror. That was a woman, the little black lady. She was real uncomfortable. She didn't like that. She did not like that. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's why I said this just may be the one that puts him into a RICO. That little lady did not like it. She was very uncomfortable. She shifted. She was very uncomfortable. I wrote that down in my notes. So she said they began to engage. Diddy assured her that these guys get tested all the time. Okay. She said from that night forward, it opened Pandora's box. They said, what do you mean Pandora's box? She said it never stopped from that night. And then at this point, Janice Combs. So I'm checking everybody's facial expression because I'm on the back row with the press. I said, let me peep. Let me see what everybody's doing. At one point, before the juror looked uncomfortable, Mama Combs got up and walked out. Now, it was a very strategic bathroom break, but I understand this is what I really think. Mama Combs didn't want to hear it, but she came back and she sat straight up like she had a board on the back of her back, and she never hunched over. She sat on the edge of her seat to hear every single detail. Now, Mama Combs, you know what? I'll say that for later. Mama Combs was sat straight up. Okay. She said, so they asked her the next day, how did you feel? She said, I felt exhilarated. It felt good. I was happy. I felt connected to him. I felt bonded to him. This was an exhilarating experience. Y'all, can we talk? The lady said she liked it. She felt exhilarated. Cassie said she liked the freak-offs. She didn't like being urinated on, but she enjoyed the freak-offs. It said it in her text messages. Why are we talking about this? Because I believe in bringing all of the information into the fold so that once we have all of the information and you have everything you need, then you can feel how you want to feel, right? This is the second woman to say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I felt great the next day. And she didn't just say great. She used a very powerful word, exhilarated, okay, bonded. And in that moment, I said, damn, this is Cassie's replacement. And then I said, not so quick, Queen Shiva, because I thought Young Miami was her replacement. Damn, I thought Gina was. At this point, he don't even give a damn. So then they said, most of 2021, what happened? She said no, not the freak-offs. She said because they changed the name, the hotel nights continued. And she went along with it because she liked him and he was sweet. And she continued to sleep with other men, unprotected, for 2021 to 2023. They said, did you ever let Mr. Combs know you did not want to do this? She said, I did after a while, but I didn't tell him in person. I told him mostly in writing. We can assume when she say writing, she's talking about text. They said, how come you didn't push more in person? She said he just brushed it off. He would change the topic. He would move on to a different topic. And he told her, you don't have to do it. We can break up. Are y'all listening? At one point, she said she just wanted to be with him. She didn't want to sleep with the other man. She only wanted to be with him. And when she did express it, at one point, he told her, you don't have to. We can break up. And she said she didn't want to break up because here it is. And I'm not making her look bad because I do believe her. She said she didn't want to break up because he was paying her rent, which was $10K a month. She didn't want to break up. So she continued to have the hotel nights. And she felt obligated because he was nice. And she wanted to be with him. They said, what would happen when you would talk about not wanting to do it? Was there any punishment, any repercussion? She said he would become distant and cold. She never said he would beat her. She never said that he abused her. She just said he would withdraw. When she said she didn't want to do it, he would withdraw. That's it. The next question was, tell us what happened in April 2023 to the arrest. His arrest in 2024. She said they continued to have hotel nights. They said, how often when you saw him, would y'all have hotel nights? She said, every time. They said, did Mr. Combs establish a set schedule when he would see you? She said, yeah. His rule was she never knew when he would wanted to see her. She never knew. But when he did call, he had one rule. Make sure you always put yourself together. That damn Diddy. Make sure you're always put together. Now, for those of you that are tuned in, that's something Black mamas normally say. Go get yourself together. Put yourself together. So that's why I said, Mama Combs, I need to sit down and talk to you. And I need to ask you, what did this little boy go through when he was under your care as a little boy? Because some of these things that he's sharing with these women and some of the language and phrases that he used typically are generated from women. Make sure you stay put together. Men don't normally talk like that, but okay, let's move on. She said that was his only rule for hotel nights. Make sure you put yourself together. They said, did your life continue normally? She said her life stopped. She was no longer allowed to do girl trips because he didn't like it. They said, how did you know he didn't like it? She said in 2022, she decided to take a trip with her friends to south of France. She didn't tell him. And they said, what was the repercussion? Now, here's the thing. She said when she came back and he found out that she went to France, she knew he didn't like it because he withdrew. He was mean. He was cold. And she thought that she needed to make him feel better. So she did a hotel night. He was mean. He was cold. She went to France. To me, y'all, let me tell you the word I wrote down. Lifestyle. 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 That's what I wrote down. Don't make me write. I'm just telling you my thoughts, and I had to put them on paper. And they asked her, how much time and how much money did it take to look this good for Mr. Combs to make sure you put yourself together? She said she stopped working. She stopped being an influencer online. She only posted here or there, and she made random money. He would give her random money, $5K to $10K. And of course, I said the most she's ever received was $20K. And they said, did he wire it or did he send you cash? And at that point, I was like, damn, they got him. Because they're using words like wire, cash, transportation, international. Who else was there? who paid for this? I was like, damn. And I remember writing that down in my notes. She did say, she told him one time that she was talking to one of her friends, and her friends told her how much money she made on OnlyFans. So she went to Diddy and said, you know what? And this is why I say, y'all, this is a matter of consent. This is not gullible, because she went to Diddy and she expressed that she wanted to do OnlyFans so she can make some money out here in these streets. And Diddy, they said, what was his response? He said, let's give it time. Let's give it time. Let's think about this. They asked her, the final question was, what cities, what countries, what states, what hotels, who on the staff arranged travel? That is why I say that today, Jane Doe's testimony just may be a RICO. This was hook, line, and sink. And not only that, Jane Doe not only nailed Diddy's ass to the cross, but KK. She implicated you. She said it was either KK or Jess. They said, okay, who paid? She said, Sean paid. KK would arrange it. Sean would pay. Y'all, that is a RICO. That is a RICO. And then the last question they asked her, they said, when y'all would have hotel nights, would you get a regular room or would you get a suite? She said, we would get a suite. They say, describe the room. She said, we would put bed sheets, blankets, and towels over everything. They said, why? So that the baby oil wouldn't mess up the furniture. What were you instructed to do with the baby oil? She said, shine it up. I had to be as shiny as possible. Now, here's the thing. I told y'all my background. I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Janice Combs, bring your ass to the forefront. Why is your son infatuated with baby oil? What happened to him with baby oil? Why does this boy like all this baby oil? Why did you let him play with that baby oil when he was little? I have questions, and I wrote it down. I said, why is he infatuated with baby oil? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Child. The last thing they talked about, shine it up. Y'all, shine it up. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm not finna play with y'all. Wait, a fetish. You know what, Dr. Hicks, you show, right? I'm gonna have to look into that. Mayor of YouTube said Queen Shiba not playing with y'all. Look, watch this, y'all. We gone after this. We gone, I promise you. They said, let's talk about August 31st, 2022. After letting it shine. It was a text between the two of y'all regarding hotel nights. I think she requested a hotel night. She requested, you see how sometimes these girls, you said wax on, wax off. Danielson, wax on, wax off. Sometimes these girls, I think, felt like they needed to request hotel nights or freakoffs because they wanted to hang out with him. I do feel like, and I feel like Diddy had a rotation and he would rotate them out for freakoffs. And let me tell you why. Well, why would he need to rotate them out? Listen to me very carefully. There was a text message between Jane Doe and Diddy on August 31st, 2022, where I do believe, and I could be mistaken, but if I heard correctly, she requested the hotel night. Diddy said, send me the address. They said, what address did you send him? She said, my apartment. And then he told her what to wear, which was lingerie. She did what she needed to do in the hotel night, and it was a happy finish for Diddy. Use your imagination. They asked her, when you think about these sessions that occur in these freakoffs, they didn't use freakoffs, they use hotel nights. When you think about these sessions from start to finish, how long do they occur? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? She said they occur anywhere between 20 to 30 hours.
I don't want to talk about it.
You just said I'm gonna talk about
Kill
it.
it. I get angry. I don't want to.
20 to 30 hours. They said, is that one cycle? She said, yes. Typically, how many cycles? She said anywhere between 1 to 2. Are you allowed to sleep? She said no. In that moment, I said, damn, they got him. 20 to 30 hours. They start. You know what? I ain't gonna even get into detail. Y'all want me to get into detail? That's what I'm here for. Y'all weren't there. They start with oral. And that can go as long as it needs to go. With him watching. That goes as long as it needs to go. And then they'll go with the man escort and the girl. That goes as long as it needs to go. And then they'll go with her, the way she described her experience, with her going into the room with Diddy. That goes as long as it needs to go. And if they repeat, that's another 2 days. That's why that roster was necessary. Now listen, I want to open up the lines. Typically, I don't. I think we've talked enough, right, for tonight. Oh, he said like Mooney Long. He took my hours and hours like Mooney Long. It is sick. It's sick. It's, you know what I've learned? Can I be honest with y'all? This is so different. I don't even use words like that while I'm sitting in that courtroom because I'm afraid when I start to use words like sick, disgusting, I may not be able to sit there like a professional. And what keeps me going is when I look at the judge and I look at the defense and I look at the prosecution. This is work for them. So I've come to look at it as work for me. Get what you need out of it. Take it back to your audience and give them a hell of a rundown and create such intricate detail and tell them what was said. Paint a picture that they feel like they were right there with you in the courtroom. And I can only hope that I've done that thus far. And today is only my 4th day. So I've actually had to tell myself, in order to get through this, you're going to have to be quiet and not judge. You're not going to make it, baby. Because if I judge him, I got to judge them. You get what I'm saying? Because they said they like it. Linda. So when we saying it's nasty, it's sadistic, this is sick, then you got to say she's sick too. Because she said she felt exhilarated. Cassie said she liked it. So in order for me to not go there on the women, I say you got to shut it down on all sides, respectfully. Thank you. You got to shut it down on all sides. And Linda, that's a very good point when you said JP Morgan Chase is going to be the nail in the coffin for the money laundering through the banks. And you might be right. He may hold an account there or 2 or 3. Trey Carter says they are sick from the narcotics. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me go through some of y'all's comments real quick. One doubler says, I can't follow this trial, but I love your commentary. Thank you. Carl, thank you, Carl. Carl kept us all on our feet tonight. He kept us light. He kept it fun. He kept it engaging. I appreciate you, Carl. I appreciate you, Shay. I appreciate my moderators in the chat, y'all. Linda Gamble, Somali Queen, Toot Latrice. I appreciate all of you because I know I'm a little bit late. I got a late start on the Diddy trial. I'm coming into kind of late in the game. I appreciate Choke No Joke sending the fellas over here to talk with us. It's different over here. But let me tell you, I told you every day is going to change because I'm challenging myself to just listen to what the people are saying. Listen to the evidence. Hell, tomorrow may be a home run. I may come back and say, the defense is up. Pimps up, hoes down. They got it, y'all. Listen, it is what it is, right? But thank you all for your support. Thank y'all for just, pulling up. And that's what we do. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to ride this thing to the end. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of freaking hard work. Thank you too. Shout out to Choke No Joke. Y'all make sure, listen, I was like, where all these men are coming from? Baby, when I tell you, because they take your phone too. Let me tell you something. This ain't for the faint of heart. Number one, I damn near fell asleep in that courtroom. You can't help it. You get up early in the morning because I got to go get in line. And you got, hey, the Queen of Tulsa is here. Hey, Queen Tulsa show. Hey. The Real CT says, Queen, I look forward to your lives and videos. Listen, I'm pretty straightforward. Some people like it. Some people don't, child. Some people don't. So it's hard. I got a lot of respect for people. Let me tell you something. They out there beating them streets with this trial. I like the people that have found their lane out there. You got some content creators, a lot of the guys stay on the outside and they deliver the street commentary. Everybody out there winning. But can I tell you something? We all working hard. We're all up early in the morning. I mean, the dedication, the discipline, you're tired. You getting up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you standing in line, people are cutting. You making sure you don't curse somebody out from taking your place. You got people that are cutting just because they can. You see what I'm saying? You get in the courthouse, you're not getting let up yet. You got to pay for everything. Uber, water, line. Well, let me just say me. Because I feel like I'm not a big YouTuber. So I got to get in there. I got to get in the courtroom for my people. I got to get in the courtroom for y'all. And thank you all for your donations because of that, I'm able to pay and do what I need to do and help out people that are unemployed. So it makes the world go round. And that's just what we doing. We all blessing each other. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever I collect from y'all, I'm giving it away anyway, And I don't know. It makes me happy to help out those people that are homeless, to help out those people that don't have jobs. When y'all send coffee in the morning, it helps me to give them a cup of coffee, give them a sandwich. They've been in tents and stuff all night. That's beautiful to me. That's beautiful to me. I go over there and talk to them. I don't take myself that damn serious that I can't tell a homeless person if I don't feel like I'm in danger. Thank you. I appreciate you. I bought, one of them today. I went and got me some lunch. I got him some. That's just the way I'm rolling out here. I know I got to be careful in New York. I can't be too soft or too kind, but at the same time, I appreciate it. And if somebody's hungry, and if somebody's thirsty, I'm not going to walk by like I don't see it. So all of your donations go to good use. And I just really appreciate all of you. And with that being said, y'all, let's talk about this money. Money comes to me.
Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. Money comes to me, comes to me. Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. Money comes to me. Money.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Candy Lou coming through with a 10-piece and a pepper, baby. She said, I got my green tea and some popcorn ready. Well, I hope y'all really enjoyed today's coverage on the Diddy trial because that's what I'm here for. Somali Queen. Listen, she giving y'all the TheBlackQueenShiba Cash App. Listen, I know a lot of you sent me money today. I ain't tripping. It was returned because you only get a certain amount. So if it was returned to you, just send it again. So that I can go ahead and pay my line holders and give my little homeless people some coffee. And if any of you know me, I share. I ain't got no problem sharing. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I take care of my people. Dr. Hicks 21 coming through. Hey, Dr. Hicks with a 20-piece and a pepper. She says, great reporting, Queen. Thank you. I appreciate you. See, Rich, listen, you better get in your bag.
Money comes to me.
You better get to the bed. Don't let them hoes stop your bed.
Hey.
If you got a problem, just know I'ma make you my man. Yeah.
Get to the bag. Thank you, C. Rich, coming through with a 50-piece super sticker. That's the way. I like it. And Carl Walker. Carl pulled up, y'all. That's my hairstylist. Boom. Boom. That's my hairstylist with a 20-piece and a pepper. Says I would have come off that island, honey. You would stayed or you would have came off. Because, baby, Trailosome coming through with a 2-piece and a pepper. He said he definitely know what type of drugs to give them. Listen, I don't want that. Baby, don't give me shit. Now I'm scared to take a piece of bubble gum from anybody. Trailosome. Michelle Lane coming through with a 10-piece super sticker. We appreciate you, Queen. And Miss Gwen coming through with a 5-piece. Girl, she says, Queen, do what you tell us. Pause, breathe, and pause and breathe again. You got this. Kick ass if you have. To classy ladies. Listen, I'm enjoying being out there, but it's hard work, baby. It's hard. It's like being back in school. I'm loving every minute of it. I feel challenged, but y'all, I'm doing it for y'all. Thank you, Sassy Libra, for the 10-piece and a pepper. Says, great job, Queen Shiva. Thank you. What DG talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Let me take a few more comments. Let me ask y'all something. Would you like for me to open up the line for 5 minutes or just go ahead and wrap it up? Who do you think will testify for the defense? That's a very good question. They're going to have to. This is what I think. At this point, KK's name has come up too many times. You got to bring her out. Bring them out. You bring her out. You have to bring her out. Give her a chance to clear that shit up and explain what her job duties are, her day-to-day role, responsibilities, why she's the one that's in charge of making the reservation, why she's the one that did the room, that sets up the room, why is she the one that hands off the checks? See, that ain't a bad thing because most administrative assistants do that anyway. Just make it make sense. Put her in front of everybody. That would be my first recommendation. My second recommendation is do not put Diddy on the stand. Don't listen to no damn Suge Knight. I think Suge Knight is trying to get in Diddy's head with reverse psychology. He ain't never liked Diddy. Don't trust a nigga that ain't never liked you. All of a sudden, you giving me information because you want to help me, child. Tell it to the judge. No, I wouldn't bring up Ray J. He's a clown. He's looking for attention. He's a clown. He wouldn't tell the truth anyway. He would get up there and make a mockery of the court. Ain't nobody got time for that. So we got to bring in KK. We got to bring in Jay-Z. I'm not Jay-Z. Beyonce's name came up. Jay-Z's name came up. I will bring that security guard back up. Because what I didn't tell you, I will bring that security. I will run him again. I would establish, because even though he said he accepted a bribe, I would need to poke a hole in his credibility because the security guard testified from the Intercontinental Hotel that his shift started at 2 p.m. the day Cassie was assaulted. He said his shift started at 2 p.m. and that by the time he got to work, his coworkers / homeboys had let him know what happened before he got to work. But the surveillance video that the forensic expert walked us through said 4:15 p.m. Bro, you lied. Either you lied or the forensic expert is lying, because the forensic expert testified under oath there's only a 5-minute and 55-second delay. He didn't say no 2-3 hour delay. Somebody lying. And either it's the hotel or it's the forensic expert. So I would spin the block on the security guard to say, you signed, you testified under oath, and you are granted immunity. And although you accepted a bribe, we're going to protect you. But according to you and the hotel sign-in sheet and your time sheet, you said you signed in at 2 p.m. Is that correct? Yes. You said 90 minutes after you signed in, KK was at the lobby demanding to talk to you. That will put you at 3:30. That's correct. So explain to us why this security tape said 4:15 and you said this happened before you got to work. How can Diddy be beating Cassie up at 4:15 and KK be in the lobby at 3:30 p.m.? It don't make sense. Somebody lying. Somebody doctored that tape. Somebody is lying. We finna get in our bag. We finna get in our bag.
You better get to the bag. Don't let them hoes stop your bag. If you got a problem, just know I'ma make you my man. Yeah. Get to the bag.
Get to the bag. Y'all getting to the damn bag. We finna, babe, I'm finna eat good. I'm finna eat me a damn bagel tomorrow. Shoot. Look, Ashita Flosser, thank you for the 20 piece, the 200 piece and a pepper. Girl, you finna get that white man. You finna get that white man. Hold on. For the 200 piece and the pepper. Let's go to Felicia. Thank you for the 10 piece super sticker. We appreciate you. Sassy Libra coming through with a 10 piece and a pepper says, great job, Queen Shiva. Thank you. And then we got Miss Green a little bit early. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you, Felicia, member for 19 months. Just keep doing what you do to make us get the tea, to make sure we get the tea. Catch up with Lala all the way from the UK, baby. Let me give you a round of applause. Girl, hold on. Let me get it. I know I got some damn round of applause. There we go. Yes, Lala coming in, y'all, with a 7 piece. She says, thank you, Queen Shiva. I'm only following this Diddy case because of you. Yet, listen, I appreciate it. I know some of y'all say y'all weren't even checking for it until we started covering it over here. But yeah, I would bring that lawyer, that security guard back. Somebody lying. And if the forensic expert, the digital analyst said the longest delay was 5 minutes and 55 seconds, bro, you gonna have to explain why the fuck the security camera say 4:15 and you said it happened before your shift. How can KK be in the lobby before Diddy laid hands on Cassie? Y'all better quit playing with me. See, tell Brian Steele to call me. They just may need me to... I'm just playing with y'all. But no, for real. So that's what I would do. I would not put Diddy on the stand at all. I think it's a setup. I think Suge Knight hates your guts. Period, point blank. I think the worst thing that Diddy would do is to take the stand. Take the stand. Sandy, thank you for the 20 piece and a pepper. She says, thanks, Queen, for your hard work. Love your breakdown. Thank you. Okay, D-Rock need to testify. I don't know. Why? I wouldn't. Let me tell you why. His name is on the organizational chart. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get y'all a technical analysis. And the only reason why I didn't, because I didn't think y'all would be interested in it, because it's so technical and it's not as entertaining, but I can do it because my moderators, thank you, Somali Queen, made sure I got the transcription to be able to lay it down. It's going to be a little bit more boring. It's about finances, but I can do it. But real quick, let me drop the link. Don't nobody click it. I just want to drop it really quick before I log off for the Queen of Tulsa. I think that's who's asking for it, the Queen of Tulsa. Let me drop it real quick. Queen of Tulsa, I'm going to drop it for you. Come up real quick, and then I'm out of here. Because I got to New York. Oh, I got to go to bed. Debbie Thomas said, yeah, I'm only interested because of you, Queen Shiva. I would listen to Sesame Street if you were the commentator. I like breaking shit down. You're not going to pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, but I would run that boy back. And I would also try to get him for perjury. I would get old girl for perjury. Because they got to make it hard. The defense got to make it hard. They got to go after the liars, those that committed perjury while they were granted immunity. All right. So, welcome, Queen.
Hi. How are you? Can they hear me?
You look cute.
Cut me on. Bring me up.
I'm gonna put you on. You want to? Okay, hold on. You look real
more
cute.
oil.
Let me put you.
They
Put you
tell
on
me to
camera.
send some more money because we need some oil, honey.
Okay, hold
We
on.
need
You
some
finna go by
oil, honey.
yourself. Oh,
Yes, honey. We gotta be glistening and things like this. Listen,
hold on.
you make me feel so special up over here, girl. I'm all oiled up. Shout out to Armand. Listen, next time
Yes.
you see Armand up there, tell him that the Queen Tulsa needs some more oil. Baby, we almost out of this. Ain't gonna get it, honey.
Yes.
Because listen here, I got my white fingernails, I got my blonde hair, even my toes is blonde. Can we get some donations so we can get our nails fixed? Okay, they running over a little bit, but they'll work. I'm just trying to see would I still be, able to get up in this party,
Put a
honey.
little bit more, just on your arms, just on your arms, just on
do
your.
my
Give
arms?
us. Let me see. Oil it up, shine it up.
Oh,
Ooh.
because it ain't doing it much, honey. Let me go ahead and
Do a
get
little bit on your arms. That's
a
it.
little bit on my arm.
Yes,
one?
that's
This one
what he
here?
was going for. Crescendo.
Oh yeah. Okay. there we go.
Crescendo.
Oh, you see, I be oiling up. I wish I had a light out here, like a flashlight to point on me. Yes, honey. But listen here.
Listen, you done acted a damn fool. Let me.
Listen, I just want to come on here and say thank you, Queen Shiba, for even sacrificing your life and your time to get out there and get the exclusive. I actually have a guy that's boots on the ground that is
Okay.
outside. But if you can send me, put your email or something in the back because I want to communicate with you, but not in the public.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll put it in the back.
Yeah,
Let me. Okay, give me one. You know what? It's in my bio on YouTube.
Okay. So did I
Okay.
get it? Did I get the
You got it
situation
right.
right?
We was trying to imagine what is it about the oil that he's attracting. Yeah, that's it. Look, let me put up my damn layover.
Oh, I done got beside myself, girl. We is over here at Queen Shiba's. We ain't at the party
Yeah.
yet. We going in a minute. Wait a minute.
Yes. Thank you for coming up, Queen.
Thank you, and you have a wonderful day on purpose. And thank you for what you do for
I
us.
will, y'all. This Queen Tulsa, y'all make sure y'all go to her channel and subscribe. And listen, she keep it real street, baby. You hear me? Are you going live tonight? There we go.
I will be going live tonight at some point, but I need some oil.
All right. Well, thank you, Queen Tulsa.
All right, I love you, people.
Okay, bye, Queen. Carl, do you want to be on camera, or what you want me to do, or cover you up? Give me a thumbs up if you want to be on camera. All right, hold on. Welcome, Carl.
Hey.
Hey.
First of all, I'm so proud of you. Like, you have no idea.
Oh my God. Thank you.
No problem.
Y'all, I've been knowing Carl. You want me to give okay. You want me to tell him a little history or just a little bit?
Okay, that's cool.
Y'all, I met Carl when he was 16. Carl, how old are you now?
36.
Carl been doing my hair ever since he was 16 in his mama house. Carl know me inside out, upside down, and he can do hair. He's a celebrity hairstylist. But go ahead, Carl. You got the floor.
Okay, well, first of all, I think the baby oil probably, just in my opinion, I think it helps him see them because they say it's dimly lit, it has mood light. So I think the baby oil, that's why I think the nails had to be white. I think it all went with the production.
Oh, you know what? You're right, because the prosecutor did ask her what was the lighting in the room. You're absolutely correct.
You know, they said it was always set up with mood lighting and stuff. I think that. Also, I think a lot of them, I really do blame the drugs, especially with like Cassie and her friends. And that's only because, like, after a certain point, they were taking the drugs to cope. And at that point, she would do and say anything.
Okay, now let me ask you, have you ever heard of a drug? Because they said they did something called Cocoa Puff.
Okay, so Cocoa Puff was explained as a blunt that they poke holes in and then sprinkle cocaine in the holes and then smoke it.
What?
And then I know you would ask about ketamine. So it's really an antidepressant, but it can also be used as an anesthetic too.
Oh, like to put you to sleep?
Yeah, so that's why I felt like they got some strong systems because you taking cocaine and ecstasy uppers, and then you taking something that's also an anesthesia. Like that's intense.
So they had a whole because at one point, and they said the girl said that they did ketamine for 8 hours straight on New Year's Eve. You believe that?
I could see that if it was microdosed. I don't know how he was giving it to him. Because, medically, they give it out for as an antidepressant, too.
Damn.
So I don't know
Okay.
what the dosage was. Like, I wish that's what they were asking. And then as far as the ecstasy pills, those literally could have been anything in those pills. That's why it would make them feel different. Like, all I knew was that Diddy was handing him a pill and telling him it was ecstasy. But ecstasy can also have different bases. So sometimes ecstasy will be like cocaine based, heroin based, meth based. It really depends. So that's why sometimes they would give.
Ah. Okay, man, I'm learning so much. So I'm gonna show up tomorrow like Patti LaBelle with a new attitude. Since you didn't educate me, I so appreciate you, Carl. Were you following me on TikTok? Is that how you caught me doing this case?
Okay, so let me tell you what happened actually. So
Okay.
I was actually following Armand first. And I liked Armand, but something said, let me go see what Queen Shiva is talking about because usually me and you be on the same page with stuff.
Okay.
And sure enough, after that, I was like fully engaged, and then I couldn't find none of the lives. Well, I couldn't get on the lives that usually, and then like all of a sudden, like every time I clicked on, like you was on live, and so I got to participate. So that was really cool.
Okay, and this is your first time. Look, like when I tell y'all, I'm gonna say this. My friends and family, they know, but they know they don't just be rushing over here. This your first time, like really doing a live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate it. I feel so happy.
Me too. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you for my Cash App, babe. I got thank you. I appreciate you. I
No.
knew it was from you. I said, oh, Carlito is thinking about me.
Yes.
Love you, and I appreciate you for coming up. Your first time coming to the palace, doing a live with your friend. Let me give you a round of applause. Hold on. Hold on, Carl. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. So y'all, that's Carl. You better come back because they like you in the chat.
Okay.
All right, y'all. That's Carl. You know how to drop down? I got you.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. That was Carl, everybody. Yes, my people pulling up tonight. All right, Trey. Welcome, Trey. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Queen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I just want to first say, like the others, thank you so much for doing all that you do. I was so excited to see you there because I was like, oh, yes, Queen is here. I love Armand too, like Carl. But I was like, okay, yes. And we got somebody, I know she's going to tell us, she's going to get deep. She's going to get deep where we want her to get deep. I love that Armand kind of gives us his. But I think he said, like the other day, you have your own perspective than the different. And that's very true. I also kind of want to reiterate or verify what Carl was saying about the drugs. It's the drugs. I think some people in the comments were saying things like, well, how can they do this for 20 hours straight? A lot of that comes from those uppers, especially if they are mixing it with methamphetamines. That will keep you up and that will keep your brain fixated on sexual desires. So I can see them sitting in a hot, dark room with oils and white nail polish and all these types of sheets and stuff everywhere, just trying to keep everything clean because their anxiety is through the roof as well as their sex drive. So I can see all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of sex drive, the girl, Brianna, that testified, she's Cassie's friend. She said that Cocoa Puff made her feel sexy and good.
I'm sure it did. It was a
Horny.
mixture of the. Well, I'm not sure what type of weed that they were smoking, but if it was mixed with cocaine, if it was like an upper and a downer together, that she probably was feeling very, very nice in her
Oh,
brain. I'm sure.
yeah, in her brain. Don't y'all try that at home? Yeah.
Please do not. Please do not
Please.
get fixated on those things. They are not good for you. I also want to say yesterday when you were speaking about Ray J and all that kind of stuff, it really kind of hit on the head as far as him being the drug dealer. Because if you remember, I remember it was back when Whitney had passed. There was a lot of talk about him, and there was this other guy that was, I think he was like the real plug that Ray J was going through, and he had a lot of ties with a lot of celebrities who also had issues with drugs. I can't remember his name. He was like a heavy set guy. I don't think he was like straight European. He might have been like a different. nationality, but I know he wasn't black. He was like a white guy.
Which one? Describe him again.
He was like a heavy set white guy. He was very mixed in with like the drug culture of celebrities. But I
Scott
just could not
Storch.
remember. No, it wasn't Scott Storch. He wasn't like a producer. I don't even think he was in the music industry. He was just like one of those guys that's just be on the side, very
Okay.
well connected. Also, almost like an assistant, but he was really just like a drug dealer. But it was him and Ray J that were very connected and were kind of giving things to Whitney. And I think that's why she passed. And I think he had something to do with Bobby Christina's passing as well. I think
Damn.
all of this stuff is
You
kind of mixed
do?
in.
Let me ask you this. Do
Mhm.
you think that, okay, I have my own thoughts on Ray J, but I'm gonna hold back for a second. Do you think that if what they saying now, I do now, this is under oath. So, well, let me just say I do believe it. Shit, this is the feds got him a list of him as a drug dealer, right? In the industry. Like his
Mhm.
name has come up more than once. Now, typically let me tell you something about these feds. You know they do that stuff on purpose a lot of times to let people know where the snitches are when they want
Oh,
to
most
press you
definitely.
and you haven't worked with them.
And that's what I was thinking when he was when his name was released, and when you said that, and you were kind of alluding to him just being a plant. It makes sense because it makes it kind of ties it back to him having something to do with Whitney. There's his name he shouldn't have gone by without any type of thing. For them to kind of like cover that death up, I just feel like they had something on him, and that may have been one of the things to kind of keep him in the breast of the feds.
I think it's they coming for him. That's why I think he been acting up and wilding
Mhm.
out. I think his time is coming. But I do know the feds, okay, let me tell you what I mean by that. Okay, in Houston, let me tell you what I mean by this. It snowed in Texas at the beginning of the year, I think. And for those of you that are in there, tell me if I'm wrong. It snowed for like a day. The day is one day, y'all. The day it snowed, I guess the police department went out and was doing donuts in the snow. Watch this. I didn't know about that because I don't live on that part of town. Well, a known criminal / snitch ended up posting it on social media and said they out there doing donuts, wasting tax. Okay, Inez says, I remember. They doing donuts. It's all over Instagram. They doing donuts and they should be, reprimanded as police officers. Guess how they responded back? They responded back and said that he was a snitch. And posted it on Facebook and also showed the different shit he be doing in the hood. He wanted to file a lawsuit on them. Leash said, I remember. I swear to God. Now, this is how I know the feds can be funny. See, we wouldn't even gonna tell the hood about you, but since you telling on us, we gonna let them know you a snitch. And they did.
Petty.
Yeah, and
Not
I
a
think
police
they're being
petty too.
petty with
They're
Ray
like
J. Yes. You know why I think they being petty with Ray J? We done looked out for you all these years, and when we asked your black ass, have you been to them Diddy parties and seen anything? You said no. Okay. Bet. You don't remember Diddy say? He said, I ain't never seen nothing.
Oh yeah, wasn't he all on I think it was Foxhole or one of those, and was just talking all
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh yeah, Diddy's such a great man. We got to, and this, that, and the third. Then right after that, he was sitting on TikTok live with him and his ex-wife or wife, both of them high, just
Yeah.
dancing in the camera, looking a fool. I
I
just
think
said,
he
what
gonna
is
be
going on?
next. But he don't have Diddy money. And I
No, he
think a
don't.
lot of people see that girl froze up. Here's the thing about the feds, what I'm learning. They make you feel comfortable. They must have made these people feel real comfortable. Oh, let me tell y'all something. Cassie handed over 10 Freakoff videos to the feds. They got them, y'all. They're sealed. We're not going to be able to see them. They're sealed. Cassie handed over 10 Freakoff videos to the feds. One thing I'm learning about the feds while listening to this trial, they ain't got no loyalty to nobody. Nobody. You may be in them rooms thinking you talking. If they need to use what you say to take somebody down, they gonna use it, or they gonna get the information to somebody else that will announce it for them on their behalf. That girl that took the stand against Diddy, that thinks she about to get $10 million, didn't think the feds was gonna drop that bomb on her, drop that dime on her, that she gave a whole list of the drug dealers in Hollywood, including Ray J. When I tell you she froze up, when they started talking, and she denied. So the feds play dirty, in my opinion.
Almost definitely. And a lot of times, from my experience, they already know who's out here peddling these drugs, and they'll pull them in one by one on different occasions, and all these drug dealers, all of them are snitches. They just tell on each other just to keep themselves from going to jail for however long they may be threatened with. But
I agree.
I know you have to go to bed or go sleep for tomorrow. I do want to ask you one question, because I've been seeing in the comment, somebody is promoting this free P. Diddy protest that's happening. Since you're actually boots on the ground and you've been in the trial, for the time that you have been there listening with your own ear, do you think that there is any reason currently that P. Diddy should be released?
You want my personal opinion, or you want me sitting you want the legality of it all?
The legality, or your personal, whichever, or both.
They don't really have a lot of strong evidence. Not yet. They could be warming up to it, but so far it's just a bunch of I was scared. He did this, he did that. I had sex with him. Text messages say I enjoyed it. Did he, I consented to it. Now, there is domestic violence between he and Cassie. That's proven. That's a fact. We saw it on the video. But we've never seen, I'm going to just be honest. I mean, they're having a hard time proving everything else, which is why they really have to, like when I said, they're going by, he took you to Turks and Caicos and gave you some money to pay your rent. That's all you got? Unless they building up to something else. So when you say, do they have a strong case? They're getting there, but they're building some strong examples, but they don't have a solid case yet.
So they haven't solidly proven any type of RICO or sex trafficking, you would say?
They solidly proved that a bribe did take place at the Intercontinental Hotel when he paid $100K to make that tape go away. That's solid.
Okay.
But you need 2 incidents. The rest of them are there, but you need solid proof, just like you had solid proof of him paying for that video.
Right.
Okay, somebody said the wire transfer is coming. Perhaps. See, can you really prosecute a man that's nice to a girl that's paying her rent?
Also, I'm wondering, can you really prosecute a man? And I'm just saying, this is just off the top of my head. Can you prosecute a man for having a girl being flued out? Because I feel like that's a lot. Is that really sex trafficking, just to have somebody flued out?
Well, here's the thing. That's why they said, what happened? Who came in? Did he pay you after you were done? To me, I don't know how this person is going to come out of this. If you basically admitting to being a prostitute, girl. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, I don't know if she wants that title because I know who it is. So she's cooked either way, because can you really technically prosecute a man for, let's just say, because she says she was in a relationship with him. So the defense has not questioned her yet. So the prosecution is still going. And I think they're going to finish tomorrow. And then the defense is going to cross-examine her. So that's why we got to wait and see what they come with. Because technically, not really. I mean, unless you can prove it's a crime. Has he committed a crime? Yeah, he slept with her. That's what rich men do. They give these girls money. Black men, white men, old men, fat men, skinny men. But the way the prosecution, the government laid it out today, she kind of made it seem like every time they had a sexual encounter on big trips, she was wired. They said, how did he give you the money? He wired it. That's what they're leaning on. Now, when they come out with the wire receipts, depending on what he put in that memo, we don't know. You get what I'm saying? I know it's and Desira said it's consensual. Yeah, it is consensual, but you can consensually be with a prostitute and pay them, and that's illegal, depending on where it happened at and where you transported them. What's that man name that was married to Shirley Strawberry? Ernesto.
Ernesto.
Yeah, that's what they got R. Kelly on. Yeah.
They caught him with all that stuff in his car. He had lube and all the condoms and all that carrying on whips and chains.
They caught Diddy with in his house. Yeah. So wire fraud. So they do have a wire of him paying her rent every month, but his name ain't on it. It's his assistant's name. That's the first thing. Is that against the law? No, it's not against the law. But what they're trying to tie into is this sex trafficking ring that these women felt obligated to perform these sexual acts in exchange for money, which was technically the lifestyle. And that the money came from the enterprise, legal enterprises under the umbrella of Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Music, Bad Boy Productions, Bad Boy Travel. When I tell you so many goddamn bad boys that they ran down in court, it's a lot. But we may have to go back to those organizational charts because they listed every criminal in that organization. They coming for all of them. But if I was the feds and I were to prosecute, I would go after the ladies first. I would go after the women. Anybody that's pushed out a baby, I'm coming to see you. Because women would talk quicker when they're mothers and they have something to protect. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it sounded like it's going to come down to how well either the prosecution or the defense can plead their case or convince.
Well, the defense is real good. But the prosecution, I don't know that lady name today. She did a great job with the Jane Doe. They need to keep her up there all the time. She did a magnificent job. And that lady was let me tell you why that lady, man, when I tell you the psychological strategy, y'all think these lawyers just get up there and ask questions. I also believe I could be wrong. I think they receive some type of psychological training to get in our heads, because when she was questioning the woman, the Jane Doe, you know what she kept doing? Looking back at the clock to let us know she's aware that we're tired. I'm almost finished up. Man, when I tell you they connected well with us today, the prosecution, that was nothing but a brilliant and a dynamic strategy from start to finish.
Can I ask you one more question really quick?
Sure.
I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Okay, so when you earlier you were talking about how the jury was kind of connecting with Diddy, the way that he was looking at them and things of that nature. Can you describe how Diddy currently looks physically? Sure. Is he like withered? Was he able to get like some Beijing for the grays? Or is he fresh cut?
Okay.
Like how is he looking?
He has a nice hair. I can tell that. I can tell because I'm not that far behind him. Like it ain't like I'm way in the back in the nosebleed section. Because like I said, they only allow a particular amount of people to come into the courtroom. And I can tell from, he has a nice hair, seems like to be a nice grade of hair. He has a nice little haircut. He's gray, but it's not like they put on social media. So those pictures are fake that y'all see.
Thank you.
I see
a lot of AI. A lot of people are using AI.
They're fake. He looks great. He looks fine. He's not a big man. His hands are kind of, but listen, his eye contact is chilling. His eye contact is chilling. Trey accidentally put himself down. His eye contact is chilling. He's about, I'm gonna say he's no taller than 5'9". He ain't that big of a guy. His mom's a small lady, so he's not that big. He's just a regular size man as it relates to his body and his girth. He's not overweight. He probably gained a little bit of weight from being in jail. Now, I do know he had a problem Trey, you fell off. I do know that his defense team pleaded to the judge for him to be able to use the phone the other day because they said he had 300 minutes on his phone card, but the system was registering the card as if he didn't have any minutes, and they were telling the judge that they needed to talk to him. So the judge said that he was going to, fix it or order whatever order immediately. His pants, I think he's smaller on the bottom, or he's lost weight because his pants kind of sag. And not sag like these people sag where they have their pants hanging down their butt. He's losing weight. He must be losing weight, or they brought him some old pants from home. His clothes are really nice clothes. For the past 2 days, he and Justin were dressed alike. I forgot to tell y'all that. The day I told y'all he had on that baby, he wears nice cashmere sweaters, very nice sweaters. He and Justin have been dressed alike like every other day. And I can't help but to assume that is coordinated. The other boys have not come back to the courtroom. I'm not sure why. If I was him, I would put my foot up in that other one's ass. The one that looked like him. You would think the one that looked like him will be there the most. It's not. It's the one named Justin. Justin is there every single day. Justin seems like a really nice kid. He's there every day. He takes notes. And why is that important? You got to think of when these kids are Gen Zs. They're not accustomed to that deep work. And it's just very warm to see a kid there taking notes for his father. You get what I'm saying? That other one, Christian, that's his name. Thank you. Ain't nowhere to be found. I would smack the crap out of his ass because that's the one that took most of my genes and looked just like me and ain't nowhere to be found, frolicking, thinking that you probably your daddy and ain't had enough sense about yourself to come and put yourself on a bench in the courthouse and sit your ass down for 10 hours like everybody else. Quincy came. I saw him once this week. But the other one has been there every single day with his notepad, his pen. He takes his notes. He's well behaved. He doesn't try to make himself seen. He sits there, and if hopefully I'm not being offensive, but he seems like a very well behaved, well mannered kid, younger kid. I know Quincy's Albie. Yeah, I know that. But Justin is what I'm saying. Quincy was there on Monday. He and Justin. Justin has been there ever since every day. That other one, Christian, that looks just like Puffy, he ain't nowhere to be found. And them be the ones that break your heart. No, them be the ones that break your heart the most. Because I think he's the one that's taking advantage of his father's money. And these kids are not big kids. Quincy's a little tall. He's thin, very lean. Justin's a little bit more stocky, not fat, muscular, short. Mama Combs is there. Yeah. Mama Combs is there. The publicist is there. There's some men there. Y'all, it's some crazy ass mofos. I'm going to leave it like that. Let me go to bed. Let me get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. I will see y'all in the morning. God bless you all.
The reason why Scorpios say shit to your face isn't just because we want to be honest and direct with you or that we're heavily opinionated. Everybody is. Everyone around you has an opinion about what you say and what you do. The only difference is that they do it behind your back and you may never hear it. We say it to your face so that we understand each other, so that we know where we stand. You're welcome.